Today is going to be a video as compared to my normal videos that are about an hour. Ironically enough, it's very complicated. It's called statistical significance. I first got introduced to the idea of statistical significance as a hedge fund trader. And what you find in trading the markets, money involved, people want to figure it out. So they turn to statistics because statistics promises to provide some sort of insight into the future. And I'm hopefully going to at least tear that down a little bit in the sense of what you and I are trying to do as entrepreneurs, or you're trying to do maybe for a client. So in business, we're all trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future. Product going to be a success? Where's the market going? Stock market, but your market. So let's say you're selling digital accounts. You got to figure out, all right, what are people going to want to buy? What are they not going to want to buy? And you might go to a statistician and try and get some sort of insight. I'm actually going to go to a Wikipedia page, and I'm going to point out some of the aspects of statistical analysis and the flaws for us as entrepreneurs, and certainly for us as business. And so a little bit more history. As a hedge fund trader, I, of course, was right at the beginning of the electronic revolution. Back with the small order execution system, or SOEs, and the SOEs bandits. I was right there for the cutting edge of that. And because I've grown up around computers, code and all that, my first thought was, wow, as this, and then jumped all in the pool of trying to write a computer program to trade the market. They've all failed. I've been around statistics a long time. Obviously I'm trying to make a statement with that. But this isn't something that's just theoretical for me. It's something that I've worked with, play out, in live environments. And so my first comment is going to be, if you want to get a really good handle on the academic world in general, certainly the PhD world in specific, you've got to read a book by Thomas Sowell on experts. So we describe more success, more knowledge, more ability to people if they've got PhD and MD after the name. And that's just not the case. Maybe in their one very narrow field that they actually did their thesis in, they might be an expert. But remember, it's a thesis, right? It's a theory. And just because all the professors liked it and the PhD committee liked it doesn't mean it actually holds any water. So you as an entrepreneur have got to be far more critical when you're looking at this stuff. So let's just jump in. Start here. Again, just a Wikipedia page. Okay, you can say whether you like Wikipedia source or not. I'm only using it because it's someplace that this is statistical hypothesis testing. And I jumped down into some of the early tests. Let's talk about methodology here first. This first test was looking at human sex ratio. How many how many boys versus girls were being born in London? Now, got it marked out. Here we go. More male or male birth likely. You gotta understand that you are going to make a theory in math. You gotta assume something like this. The assumption here that it's equal chance, right? It's like it's 50-50. But my question is that the case? Is it really 50-50? Just because there are two options, does that mean there's an equal chance? Of course, people go to a coin. Well, if you look at a coin flip, it has two sides, and it, over 10,000 coin flips, it basically goes, to very close to 50-50. So there's this thought process in statistics that is based on that assumption, I would say, yeah, but how do you know? Even if you look at coin flips, it's never seen it exactly 50-50. Granted, it's really close. So that's the first thing, is you've got to understand what the assumption is. In other words, what's the likeliest outcome that you're testing against? Here's this lady. Again, this is a long time ago when they were first formulating statistics and formulating the field. Why is all this important? Because you need to understand where things come from so you can better understand the tool. People that are in the field, somebody who jumps into studying statistics today is not likely to do this and say, you know what, let me see if I actually want to go into statistics, or let me see if my professor, if what he's saying is accurate. That's not what college was designed for. It's not what school is designed for. Our current schooling system was not designed for critical thinking or expansive thought. It was literally to teach people to do things in a certain way. It was literally an indoctrination designed to do. So if you go into the field of statistics, you're going to be indoctrinated into a specific way of viewing, which starts out with considering more males or female births as equally likely. I would rather say, well, how do we know if it's equally likely? Or how do we know that the result we're talking about is 50-50 to use as a baseline? The important thing to understand is, in essence, what they're saying is you're expecting, equal distribution, right? 50% male, 50% female. So if you get something different than that, they're going to say, oh, well, that was statistically. It goes back to the whole subject, which is what is statistics. So down here we've got the lady tasting tea. This one was kind of quirky. This dude had anyway, there's this woman who said she could taste whether or not you put tea in the cup first or you put milk in the cup first. So this dude was like, okay, let's test it out. Gives her 8 cups of tea, and she identified them all perfectly. And he said, that's statistically significant. And my question is, why? Why is that statistically significant? Just because someone can, they have a highly refined sense of taste, that seems to be more, of humans. Like, yeah, you can train your tongue, your brain and your tongue to kind of figure it out, right? Why? In other words, why is it statistical? But my brain, it really is more about getting to the methodology, right? So then looking at the courtroom trial,